Best trainers in boxing, Bob Santos. What's good, Bob?
Not much. Just here, just getting ready for January 7th, waiting for this win and get ready to rock and roll.
All right, Bob, you've had an incredible year in 2022, and you're starting off with a bang 2023. What can we expect Saturday night?
It's going to be a tremendous fight. Obviously this is the professional prize fighting. Anything can happen with one punch. Tank's one of the most dynamic punchers in the sport, so he can change anything, with one punch on the drop of a dime. But that being said, Hector brings a lot to the table too. So it's going to be a tremendous, explosive fight.
Hector, like you said, Olympian, undefeated world champion, coming off of probably the best year out of any guy to just come out of nowhere. Why is he being overlooked in this fight? Because Olympian, undefeated world champion, that checks every box, right?
Yeah, it does, but obviously, they're talking about Gervonta fighting Ryan Garcia. So, maybe that's the reason. But like I said, it's all about what's been done in the ring, and not too many have done more and accomplished more than what he's done. You don't have 400 fights and an Olympian and not rise to that level that he has.
What does Tank Davis possess that Hector can capitalize on? Like, do you see any I know you probably ain't gonna break down all the weaknesses, but do you see anything that Hector has, besides obviously being a bigger man?
Yeah, of course, but when you have 400 amateur fights, imagine how many left-handers Hector's been in the ring with.
True.
So that it's two lefties going against each other, which, obviously that's rare in the sport, right? So I think he's going to be able to capitalize on his experience and his expertise in going in with lefties, and I see it every day in the gym and sparring. He doesn't give him any complications or any problems going against a left-hander, where there's a lot of guys that have a lot of complications fighting left-handers, So from that perspective, I think we're ready to rock.
They always say southpaws hate fighting other southpaws. Is Hector comfortable with not being the only southpaw in the ring, and that against a big puncher?
Sure, because again, that's where the 400 amateur fights come into play, right? Yeah. So he has so much experience, against so many of these different lefties and so forth, and we're talking about an Olympian. We're talking about high-level experience with lefties. We're not just talking about just lefties where you fight in your state or or just your country. We're talking about going against the Russians, going against the Cubans, going against the best, right? So. He's been in there. We have Alberto Puello that I train, that's a world champion, who's a southpaw. We have Carlos Adames, who can switch right-handed in southpaw. So he has had a plethora of work with numerous different lefties to be prepared.
If everything goes right, what happens Saturday?
We should come out with our hand raised, victorious, and hopefully there's a rematch, or if Ryan Garcia. If he wants to fight Hector, and like I said, you have the opportunity to prove things inside the ring, we're willing to hear all offers and ready to go. But that being said, we feel we're going to be victorious January 7th, and we would like to go into a rematch with Gervonta and see how that plays out.